like as 4 black women on the stage was far more like dignified than anybody could have hold ourselves. And I think we're not really getting enough credit in that sense, because I had friends calling me that was watching the live and said, well done for handling it the way that you did and holding your composure, because if that happened in real life, Pearl would have had a very different reaction. And that's sad to say, do you know what I mean? Like, we could have definitely fit into that stereotype of the black angry woman, or she's aggressive and she's already, mouthing off and whatnot, because that is the stereotype that people do, paint us with. But we didn't. We dealt with it pretty bloody dignified that night, and we did educate her. We didn't jump her. We didn't do anything. And to be fair, hats off to Laura. Like I said, she dealt with it pretty well. Do you know what I mean? Like, she could have mouthed off. We could have, ran to her defense and come for Pearl, but we didn't. Do you know what I mean? So it's like when people are saying, well, Laura didn't, she was jumping up for joy like she won the lottery. It's not that. Like, she really, really had to compose herself, and so did myself, Paige and Torian. So yeah, let's not do that and try to make it seem like, okay, because she was happy that she said that. No, it's not happy. We're so immune to this. We're so desensitized, as Paige said earlier. Like, we're accustomed to that. Like, it's nothing that we can do about it, because we get it day in and day out from institution, from the system, from the government.
I really do know, honestly. I really do. I know. I'll never walk a day in your shoes. Do you know what I mean? But I've got mixed race children. The half Bengali and half white. The dad's Bengali, and the racism that they get. So I can't imagine, but I just see personally what they go through.
What's your opinion? What's your opinion on how myself, Torian and Paige dealt with that night?
I'll be honest, Han, I never watched the live. I just watched a little segment of when what was said was said. I didn't watch the whole thing, and I promise you faithfully. But what I'll do is I will watch it, and I'll let you know, but you're a good woman and I believe you, so I don't really need to watch it. That's what I'm saying.
So, Han, I can give you feedback on that, because at the end of the segment with Pearl, Torian and Paigey, one of the things that I said, I was in the box and I said, thank you for the way that you've handled it. You could, and last night when I was talking to Paigey and Torian and others, you could have come up there, you could have screamed and shouted, you'd have been entitled to on behalf of the people that you wanted to represent, and you didn't. You set out to educate. You held yourselves to a very high standard, in my opinion. Okay.
Thank you.
So that's my view. However, when you went into, I think it was Rickster's box, and obviously then that segment occurred, I messaged you and said, come away, come out. I don't know the message, because that was just not a great place to be, and that might be it.
Was this the whole thing with the Joanna girl?
I don't know. This was when basically there was basically misogyny and abuse of Torian and Paige in that box. That's my view. Listen, what I do want to say, and this is going to be unpopular, what I do want to say is there are many people that have seen the way in which Shep has responded previously when something has happened, where in one breath it will be, I'm very upset, this is bad, and quite rightly so for all of those things. And then in another breath, there is a level of sort of glee and triumphancy over the situation.
I agree.
And that's what people have reacted to. And, in the same way that Shep is allowed to have a wide range of emotions and input into it, other people are allowed to also make their view and their judgment on it. Regardless of what has happened. So, everyone has an opinion, everyone makes a judgment. And so, I just wanted to follow up on that.
Hi, can I just say something very quickly, if you don't mind?
Yeah, of course.
I'm from the travelling community, and I'm sorry, I might get a lot of hate when I say this, but from the travelling community, we do not use that word to black people. We're not allowed. We know better. I'm a woman of 31 years of age. My mother is 62, and we know better not to use them words to black people. And I know people might say Pearl had no education. I had no education, my mother had no education, but we know better not to say it. We face racism nearly every day, but still, we don't say them words. I know everyone is defending Pearl, but what about the black community? What about them? And I'm a traveller saying that.
Yeah.
What would that look like for you? So if I tell you that I can't say the words because I basically got dropped last night. If I tell you that I at the time held Pearl to account on live in front of people with regards to how it made me feel. I'm a white woman with black relations. You know, cringe if you want, anyone in the comments that doesn't like me saying that, but that's the fact. And I basically said to her that potentially I had a violent reaction to what she said. So she has been held to account. She has literally been on live and listened and heard.
But sorry, Cockapoo, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt you, but do you know what the sad part was? Even though she said it, okay, she kept saying, I'm sorry, but I'm still going to use it. And as a traveller, that disappointed me. And I'm going to be honest, she does not speak for all of us travellers because we're not all like that.
Yeah.
I'm a very honest girl. We're not all like that.
Listen, I completely get it. And I heard what you heard until she's come in the box today. And she said differently. And the other thing that she did say over the weekend, which gave me heart that she actually gets it, is the fact that she said she's got grandchildren and she uses that word with her grandchildren, a term of endearment, but still uses it. And she now understands that if she continues to use that word, then potentially they could be in a situation where they do the same thing. And she understands that that is not acceptable and she doesn't want that to happen.
Cockapoo, don't find me ignorant or smart when I say this, but I know Pearl. I don't know her personally. I know her from the app, okay? And for what I know, I'm not being smart as a traveller, and I'm an Irish traveller. She's a gypsy, okay? So as an Irish traveller, and the gypsies are the same way, like there's no difference in us. But we know better not to use them words, and especially to black people. I'm not being smart when I say that. We know better, okay? She might have said it from a slip of a tongue. She said it through vexation. Now, she apologised, but if she apologised and said, you know what, I'm sorry, but didn't say bush, she kept saying bush, I'm going to use it again. For us as travellers, we're like, you know, like, if you ask any other traveller, no, they wouldn't say it. If you ask only Tony Fisher, he wouldn't say it. If you ask Rickster, he wouldn't say it. Not being smart, Rickster put up a live yesterday, taking away the part of what Pearl said and all about Angie. And for us as travellers, it looks like that we're all against one side and not against Pearl. That's not fair. That's not nice. You can't do them things. You have to be very, very honest.
Everyone has to have the opinion, have the option of saying how they feel about this, because it has implications for how people are judged in your community as much as it has implications for how white people respond to this. I completely get it. I suppose my question is, given now where we are after it happened, what would Pearl need to do differently to give everybody some sense that actually she finally gets it? She's reacted.
Well, the first start is not to use the word to anyone.
Yeah.
That's the first start, not to use it in any part of this platform. Say it to anyone, white people, black people, traveling community, no one. That word should be banned. Banned. Me personally, that's me. Okay, I know I might get a lot of hate from the traveling community for me standing up, but I have morals, and my morals is, as a traveller, we do not say them things. We do not. I know Pearl's coming in now, but I'm a very honest girl, and I don't care if she wants to come for me, she can come for me, but I'm a very honest girl.
Pearl's not going to come for you.
No. What I mean is, like, as a travelling person, we do not say them words. We do not. No way. I'm 31, and I'm telling you, I would never use that word to a black person. Of course, I know what it means. Of course, I do.
Yeah.
I'm not being smart.
So does everybody else agree in the boxes if Pearl gives that commitment that actually she understands and won't be using that, and the fact that she said in anger, I'm still going to use it in these situations, but actually, you know, what she said this morning is she won't be using that. Would everybody agree that would be a good way forward?
Yeah.
Can I just apologise to Lioness? Listen, I know people don't use that word, right? And I don't stand for everybody, and I deserve everything that I'm getting. And I was wrong, and I held my hands up. When I said about I won't stop using the word. I have tried to explain. I don't explain myself properly. Listen, I've used it all of my life, that word. And yes, wrong, I can't believe. I'm ripping my own self to pieces over what I said. I can't believe that I said it, but please believe me, I did not see, firstly, a black woman stood in front of us. I was arguing with Laura.
Heard.
No excuse.
Can I ask you a question? And as a traveller to a traveller,
Yeah.
okay, and look, I know I might get some hate when I say this to you, but I'm a very honest girl. Pearl, we know better. We know better, Pearl, not to use the word to a black person. We know better. And by what you said, and I'm going to be very honest with you, you disappointed our travelling community. I'm a very honest girl.
I've
You did.
disappointed
And like
hundreds and
the
thousands
colour,
of people.
the black people, like, I'm not being smart when I say this, the black people in the boxes and everywhere, okay, they're actually very, very nice people. I get on very well with them, okay? But still at the same time, Pearl, what you did was wrong, and you kept saying, Pearl, and I tried to get into the box and explain to you as a traveller, you kept saying, I'm sorry, but I'm going to still use it. You can't say them words, Pearl, because you're not actually sorry when you say that. You're not sorry. I'm not being smart.
After that, can I explain? After that, and I'm pleased that you've jumped up here in this box today to give the other side of it, because no, I have disappointed thousands of people from our community, and I know that now I'm going to be held accountable for that, right? What I was saying, and I don't expect, I'm still going to end up in deep water now. What I'm saying, it's going to take time for me to learn to stop saying that word. It's a word I've said all of my life. I know not to say the M word. I know not to say the N word. It's going to take time, because I don't want my grandchildren to start saying that, who I say it to as well, to start saying that, because now I know.
Guys, can you hear me?
I don't know what I'm saying. I know I need to stop, but what I'm trying to explain is, if I'm on a live and people hear us, I can't just stop dead. It's going to still come out my mouth, because it's a word I've said all of my life.
Pearl,
And I'm sorry for that, but it's a word I use, and it's so wrong because I use it on a daily basis.
Pearl,
Stop saying that it's a word, Pearl. I'm so
Pearl,
sorry.
sorry, Taryn.
Please stop saying that it's a word you use, please.
No,
like,
Pearl, I'm going to be honest with you, okay? Like yesterday, okay, Rickster started a live up about Angie. It took away what you said to Angie. That's not fair. As a traveller person, and I actually jumped into Rickster's live and I said it to him, what about Pearl? As a traveller, what about Pearl?
And that was right.
You know what I mean? Like, and look, I'm on no one's side. I'm just speaking on behalf of myself. And as morals, Pearl, we know better not to say them words to a black person.
And
now,
I'm
Pearl,
sorry.
Okay, no, Pearl, like, I don't know, like, okay, you're an older person than me. I don't give back cheek to older than me.
No.
That's the way we're weird.
But I'm sorry, and it'll never, ever, ever be used to anybody else. But the point, please, try and understand the point I was saying. What if it slips out when I'm on a live?
Pearl, I'm not being smart, Pearl. You have to think twice.
I know I do, and I'm very mindful of it now.
Because if you don't, people are going to keep saying saying it, and they're going to be honest with you, Pearl. Like, what you did in that live with Laura is okay. When you came back in, you kept saying, "I'm sorry," but I'm going to still use the word. And I was like, "Oh my God, please don't be saying that, because you're not sorry. That doesn't mean sorry."
Yeah,
and
but
the black people will not take that for sorry.
I understand how everybody feels on this.
Sorry, no, but I'm just giving my opinion. Sorry about that.
I'm glad you have. I'm glad you've come up and said what you've said. I'm glad.
Like, Pearl, look, I'm going to be honest with you. Just own what you said, say sorry, and say, look, I will not say it again in anyone's life. Let it be white, let it be black, let it be travellers. No one's life. You can't say it, Pearl. It's not a nice word to anyone. And as a traveller person, I never say that word to anyone anyways, and not being ignorant. Okay? Yeah. Okay, we might say cheeky, whatever, but I still wouldn't even use that word. I wouldn't. As a traveller, Pearl, we know better, because we're getting racism all our life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But listen, I can apologise, and I don't know what else.
You've made a commitment, Pearl, that you're going to stop using that word. So the question that I asked was, what would Pearl need to do differently? And you've said you've heard what people want you to do differently, and you've said that that's your commitment to it. And we can go round and round and round in circles, but I don't think we're going to get any further on unless anyone else has got anything to add.
The only thing that I was going to add to it is, you know, when you're saying what is next, like no one wants blood from Pearl. Like I said, I've spoke to Pearl. I've never once, even after it happened, I've been angry, I've been upset. It's had a ripple effect, but I've not once like come screaming in at Pearl's live. Like I've not once screamed, you know, like go and do this or go and do that, or she should come off the app.
We've always
Accountability.
haven't we, Tori? And always since I've been on air, Paige, baby, since we've been on here, with you and with Tori, we've had a good relationship.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why I said I had different energy with you than I did with people like CLA and stuff, because it was obviously when it is repetitive with those kind of people, you know what I mean? Like it gets boring. I had like, do you know what I mean? We had a lot of respect for each other. Like we had a good like sort of relationship on the app, Pal, and stuff like that. In terms of both our communities.
Now, and all I can say is I'm sorry.
No, do you know what it means? Because the thing is with me, I'm not also like that to the point where I'm that judge and jury where like no one can, you know, come back from something that's happened. People can come back, people can change. I know people that were genuinely conditioned to be racist 15, 20 years ago, completely different people now that work for the cause and that are allies. I'm not here to put you down, scream at you forever. Everyone's saying what to do next. And for me, what it is and what I keep running my lives for is that you've done the accountability side, which a lot of people haven't done. That's fine. But now the next thing is it's the time now. So a lot of people on the app, a lot of people in the world, a lot of people in society apologise to black people because they have to, because it looks bad if you don't. And then it's after the fact, it's, you know, it's still the continuum of behaviour. So like for me, the accountability is great, but now I would just like the sympathy side of it to be understood. You know, the understanding of why you understand why black people are upset and things like that. And it's now just not. No, I know you've apologised. I know you've apologised. No, that's what I mean. I understand that, but now it's the fact of, like I said, we've been apologised to so much, Polly. Now it's just the understanding of why we need to have the conversations. Like I know you probably get it. You've been less in and out of our lives, you know what I mean? Probably you've defended yourself less to me than other people have, is my point. Is so where Tony's coming screaming, you know, all these people that have not let us have a conversation after the fact, it's now just letting us have the understanding and the space to discuss what's happened and do you know what I mean, get our feelings out. Understand you've had horrible
Sorry, Paige, baby. Mods, can you please keep an eye on the comments? And keep an eye on the comments, please, mods. Sorry, Paige.
No, of course. But yeah, it's now like, it's just the time now to, like I said, let people have the space to talk about it without trying to like shun us to move on or stuff like that. I just don't get how you've said on lives, like I want to listen and I'll take what I've been deserved, but then other people are coming to us and telling us to shut up. Do you know what I mean? So now it's kind of just like time will tell how the app handles this situation and how like I said, people are towards black people in terms of listening to us, because I don't care about, do you know what I mean, get off the app and all of this stuff. I don't care about people's personal vendettas. I just care about the fact that we're never allowed to be victims. And I said this to you, Pearl, it's bigger than you in a respectful way. You're one person. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I want people to see, if anything, I want people to use this example as to see how black people were treated after the fact. In terms of, you know, we weren't allowed to be victims. Many people come up swearing at us, not just people in the comments like people have come to you, Pearl. I'm talking big creators like Tony and stuff have come up and called us names and stuff like that when all we're doing is not even defending ourselves. We're just having an actual open conversation about how an event made us feel as black people. That's all I want people to sort of see. So from now, like I said, it's actions speak louder than words. So it's just going to be how people, do you know what I mean, treat the situation and view us as black people, and sort of like the sympathy that people have towards us. That's what's going to be like a time teller now.
Okay.
Yeah, no, completely.
Add to what Paige is saying.
Yeah, of course you can, darling. And then I'm sorry, guys, I'm going to have to close the live down.
Alright. So obviously I saw all of this happen yesterday, and whatever Pearl said. I'm someone who actually watches Pearl. Like, I watch everyone, right? I like everyone. I'd never thought Pearl was a racist. But in that live, what she did say was with pure venom. Do you know what I mean? And it was in an argument, and it was, if someone says something racist, then what do you call them? But that's not saying she can't learn from it. Some people are unknowingly things, you know what I mean? If someone says something homophobic, one homophobic thing, you're going to call them a homophobe. But that's not saying Pearl can't learn from it. And I'm actually happy that she's taking accountability. She said sorry, and I believe her sorry. Do you know what I mean? But I think what is making it worse is the people who are coming to her defense and saying, but Pearl meant this. She said it, and you know what? She won't say it again, and we can move on from it. But like Paige said, it's opened a discussion. So unfortunately, we are on TikTok. Things you say are on video. You're a creator. Just like other big celebrities, when they say things, it's on the internet for life, and conversations will always come out of it. So unfortunately, Pearl's name will come up to start a conversation and be like, okay, this is through what Pearl said. And that's not to have a witch hunt on Pearl, because I don't think she deserves any of the trolling. Same way I don't think Laura or Paigey or Torian, I don't think anyone deserves a trolling. It's disgusting. But being on an app, sometimes you say things and it is a mistake, and once it's recorded, it's out there forever. So she's going to, it's a bad thing, but discussions are going to come from it. And yesterday I saw so many white people coming on stage saying, oh, I didn't know this actually, and you guys have educated me on this, and it's making people learn things, and it's a good thing. You know what I mean? I don't think there's ever a time limit.
I just have to jump down with some more customers come, but again, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Pearl. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think there's like a time limit for things. Do you know what I mean? I've seen conversations about CLA, Angie, someone. I've seen conversations before I even knew who all these creators are. I've seen things from a year ago still coming up today. It's always going to come up because you guys are creators and you're on the app. Do you know what I mean? So we are just going to have to take it on the chin, learn from this. Hopefully it's not said again. But it was said in a malicious way. And Pearl has admitted that because it was an argument. But, you know, we move on, and hopefully she gets more educated. We're getting educated on things as well from you lot's side. You know, when I'm saying you lot, as in the creators on here that are saying things that's happened to them. So it's just like, we can all learn from this. It's an interesting conversation, and some people didn't know half the things that are being spoken about here. So yeah, someone just said in the comments, actions will show. So yeah, I don't think anyone should have a witch hunt out on them. And I think it's a good thing you brought it on here, so obviously people can speak about it. And yeah.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
Thank you, darling.
Before I go, can I just say one thing? As Paige Baby and everyone else, all the black people, from the traveling community, we do apologise for what Pearl said. We actually do. Not saying it straight up to you. Like, I'm not going to be two sides. I'll be your side because it was wrong. There's no buts in it. It was wrong.
Yeah, and likewise, I was saying to Pearl as well yesterday, like, you know, and I said it to Tony as well when he was in the live, I said, when you guys go through your discrimination, we are the first out of all communities that will come and defend you and stand in line with you guys, because, you know, we share that struggle. So we just wanted that kind of same respect and defense for us as well. That's all we wanted.
Of course.
Thank you for that.
You're very welcome. Thanks, Miss Red, for letting me in, and thanks.
No problem.
Bye.
Wait, sorry, Miss Red.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, literally sorry, I forgot to say this as well. Because people are so like stuck on certain words that you're allowed to use. You guys are allowed to say people of colour, because people of colour doesn't mean black people. It just means anyone that's not white, right? People of colour. But people don't say coloured anymore, and you can't say coloured trying to talk about a black person. Guys, it is okay to say black. Black is not a bad word. Same way we say white.
Black, I know.
Literally, we are black people. Refer to us as black. You are white people. We refer to anyone else as white or Asian or whatever else. It is fine. It is not a bad word to say, guys. And someone said an orangutan is an animal. Yes, it is, but you can't calling someone an animal is a bad thing in general. Whether it doesn't matter what color. I wouldn't call someone a dog. You know what I mean? So it's just like, black is fine, mixed race is fine, white is fine. Like, call it what it is. You know what I mean? Don't be scared to say certain words and tiptoe, guys. Please.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do get scared because you don't, because things change so fast. There's words that were said 10 years ago, and you're not allowed to say it now. The correct terminology is person of colour, people of colour. Do you know what I mean? I'm talking about the HC word. Do you get what I'm saying? So sometimes you are a little bit afraid to say because you don't want to offend.
100%. Do you know what it is with that, Miss Red? I completely get that, because like, it's not just people that aren't of colour, that get scared. Like, me as a black person, if I'm listening and having conversations about other communities, traveller community, like I said, LGBTQ+, things change in them communities as well, and terminology. So we as black people get, but the thing is, we ask questions. Like, that's the only thing you can do. Like, it's still techie, but like, the way I still don't seem to, or I try not to offend people, is by just directly asking. Do you know what I mean? Like,
how would you like me to address you?
Yeah, because the thing is, and I get it, like, people, it's such a techie topic, and I understand why some people are a bit like, ooh, because not everyone that doesn't have the right terminology is out to offend. Some people just generally don't know where to go or who to ask, type thing. So my thing is, before, if you don't know, there are people that put themselves, me, Han, Tori, and so many black people on this app. They're just smaller creators that just don't get the space to, like, have these conversations. But ask us, like, there are people that put themselves forward. Go on Google Scholar. Like, if you don't want Google, go on Google Scholar. There's so many black people that have been commissioned with journal articles that have been published, that have references attached to it. There's so many different places that you can learn from, and so many different types of black people that you can ask. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's the same way black people don't have to be funny or have to be aware of other communities and, their terminology. It's just like have that sort of same respect and knowledge for us. Just ask the questions, guys. Like no one can come for you. There are going to be ignorant black people, don't get me wrong, that might say, you know, silly things, but that's every community. You're going to get idiots. No one can shun you down, guys, for asking questions that you don't know.
I've got one, Katie, and I struggle with this one, right? So I am always interested in where people come from, and people will say to me, I live down south, and people will say to me, where are you from? Where's your accent? And I'll tell them and all the rest of it. But I am very, very aware that if my curiosity, if I don't land that question in the right way, it sounds like, you know, where you're really, really from. What would your advice be to me and anyone else who sort of struggles with that, if you've got any advice?
Just ask just if you're interested, just say, what's your ethnicity? That's how simple it is.
Yeah, definitely.
Because nationality and ethnicity is two completely different things. So when someone does that to me, where are you from? It's like, ugh, I'm half English, half like Guyanese. But when you're saying from, I'm born here, you're implying that I physically cannot be born here. My nationality can't be British because I'm brown. My ethnicity is obviously clear if I am brown, my full ethnicity is not white. So instead of doing like, you know, where do you come from or what country are you actually from? Just say, what's your ethnicity? Like, I'm interested to know, like, what's your background? What's your ethnicity? That instead of doing the whole, like, do you know what it is, Cockapoo? It's very clear when someone's asking out of genuine interest, like, oh, what's your ethnicity? Where are you from? I'm interested to know who you are, your culture. Or if someone's trying to sass or work out, you're brown. Can't be from here, so let's go into it a bit more. Do you know what I mean? It's clear when people are trying to get the difference, that they're interested, or they're just trying to suss out, you can't be English because you're not full white. Do you know what I mean? So it's just it's so simple. Just ask people, guys, like, what's your ethnicity? I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I'm interested. And I don't think a black person's going to be offended if, in the right context, obviously, if you're asking what their ethnicity is. That's my personal opinion anyway.
Personally, right, I would feel terrible asking somebody, oh, what's your ethnicity? Do you know what I mean? And this is what I'm saying, like, because I'm white and, you know, I'm sure you know, many of us white people feel this way. It's really hard because you're scared of offending. Can you say this? Can you say that?
It's just in context, I think. So if you're having an argument, for instance, and I don't know, you're like, oh, you're not acting correct. Where are you from? What's your ethnicity? You know, that's a context where it's implying, you know, you're different or et cetera, et cetera. If you're just having a random conversation about the person, like, oh, so, you know, what did you go to university? What's your education? Like, oh, what's your background? What's your ethnicity? Like, them kind of questions. Like asking, you know, did you come over on a boat? How long have you been here? The automatic, how long have you been here type thing. That's them kind of questions. That's the microaggressive racism. Asking someone just in genuine interest what their ethnicity is to get to know them as a person. Promise you, don't be scared to do that. Everything's about context. I would ask you what your ethnicity was, because even though I'm like educated enough to know, yeah, you can be white, doesn't mean you're fully British. You could be half anywhere. You could be half Polish. You could be, do you know what I'm trying to say? Half Lithuanian. You could be half anywhere in Europe. That is, you know, predominantly white also. You could be half from there as well. So I would ask a white person even, I'm like, oh, what is your ethnicity? Or, you know, if you get a sense that someone's mixed with something and you're interested in what that country is, they're the kind of questions that you can ask. Like, you know, what's your...
Do you know what it is as well? Like, you know, when we fill out those forms, the like equality, diversity forms, like when you're applying for a job or whatever, they actually break it down for you. They say, what's your nationality? And it's British, you know, United States, whatever. And then you've got a section that says, okay, what's your ethnic background? And then you've got the black, Afro-Caribbean, white background, you know, mixed. So ask it just as it's written down. Just say, you know, what's your ethnic background? What's your ethnicity? Or where your parents from, if you can't really figure out where that person's from. But do you know what I mean? It's very clear when we fill out forms, it's written on there. So just, and obviously the context plays a big part of it as well, in how the person asks the questions as well.
Yeah, I think the thing is,
sorry, ladies, guys, for those in the comments, has anyone been educated today? I have. I've been educated. You always get educated a little bit more every day, don't you?
100%.
Kirsty, guess who's back? And Ollie as well. Thank you for my key. Yeah, see?
But yeah, don't be scared, Miss Red. Do you know society has made us as British people, like, because I'm British too, it's made us be scared. Do you know, because of our culture, Miss Red, and our history and our lack of it, I'm talking history in general, we're seeing British people don't like to, the British government don't like to portray themselves as bad in any sense, not just to do with race. Like, we're always seen, you know, in our history books as the ones that came in and saved stuff and da-da-da. Where are things like sexuality race and culture has been so swept under the carpet. It's made people be scared to ask questions. That's causing the divide. That's what they want us to do. That society wants us to have this divide. So completely F off the standards and conditioning of being scared as white people to ask questions. If you're genuinely interested because you want to get to know black people and their culture and you want to be educated and understand, fuck being, fuck what the society thinks and the scared part of it. Let's all just stand on our big ones, stand on our 10 toes and ask the questions so we can all come together and go against the system instead of going against each other. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's how the divide will stop.
Can I just say something though, yeah? I feel like that's all good and well and stuff, yeah, but I genuinely feel the double standards is not going to stop on this app. And I feel like it's going to take much more than Misread going live and having this, like, don't get me wrong, it is a good discussion, but if we're going to keep it 100% real, nothing's going to change. Like, nothing is going to change. We're going to be back here in a few weeks because someone else is going to say a remark. Like, nothing's going to happen.
I agree.
Generally, what I feel like nothing is going, like, for instance, like, even, I'm going to keep bringing up Tony. He called a girl on the stage a pedlo. If we had called that man a pedlo, everybody would be on live. This, like, do you know what I mean? But no one spoke of, I haven't seen not one, apart from you, Misread now, not one male creator or a creator that had Dave Duran. I'm going to call them out. Dave Duran, all you people, none of you lot have actually spoke up about it. But then you lot want to come in alive and be like, oh, we should all stick together. But what the hell are you doing to make sure people stick together and to raise awareness? Nothing. Like, that's honestly just what I feel. And it's a sad thing to say, but it's the truth.
It's true.
It's true, yeah. The way that he treated us was horrible.
The fact that a man treated a woman that way is just mind-blowing to me. I couldn't believe it. I've never been in any of his lives. So that was like my first introduction to him, really. I've heard him shout before, but I didn't really pay attention. But to hear him like that, I'm not going to lie, he did make it 100 times worse and then even added more spice into it. Do you know what I mean? And it just kept going and he basically feels no remorse. And it's just like, as a man as well on a woman, yeah, we can go, I can argue back and forth with Pearl or Misread or whoever, another woman on here. But when it's a man, it's a very different kind of feeling. Do you know what I mean? And for no other man to step in and kind of be on, because I'm hearing men speak about it after, but no one went up and was going toe to toe with Tony. Do you know what I mean? So he was just coming down, up and down, up and down, and no other man came like and stopped him in his tracks. You know what I mean? So I don't know what to do about him, really. I thought he was such a good guy on this app with what he does, but clearly he's got some other things that he clearly hides by himself.
Do you know what? I haven't actually seen, because even though I've been on TikTok, I've been popping off and on over the weekend. I actually haven't seen everything. I've heard a little bit. So I'm going to actually try and watch that because I haven't seen everything. Do you know what I mean?
It was bad. It was real bad.
Yeah, it was really bad.
It was shocking. And Alex held a live yesterday and he talked about it in detail. And he's sort of like, TikTok friends with Tony, but he actually held him to account in his own live.
Who did Cockapoo, sorry?
Alex Brigham.
Yes, yeah, Alex.
Yeah, and Alex always, one thing I can say about Alex, he's always calling out these creators, but no one else. That's the only man I can actually say that has called out these creators is Alex. And probably Luke as well. But other than that, no one else. Just to give you a little quick context on the pedlo comics, I feel like everyone's asking,
Ladies, can I just Cockapoo, will you watch the live, darling? Because I need to go to the toilet.
Oh, bless her.
Go on, sorry.
Context comment was, we was all on the platform. A black girl came on and she was saying that how there's a young man who is basically 15 years old, a black guy on this app who has been getting a lot of abuse, people threatening to come to his house, all because people think that he's a 30-year-old man because he looks older than his age, right? His classmates and everything have actually come out and said he is 15, right? The girls explained it to it. Tony's turned around and said, well, what are you doing talking to a 15-year-old, you pedlo?
You did.
Like,
I was there.
what?
What? So just for the people in the chat, there's no exaggeration there, unfortunately. That's what she came up to talk about, and that's what he said. Again, Tony was on an absolute rant, and it wasn't where he started, and it wasn't where he finished. He basically, was just in demolition.
It was used in his live. The P word was used in his live. He called us all bitches. He said he was calling us it. Like,
what the hell does he mean by dealers? That's
exactly
what
he called us dealers. He said that we're fake, we're doing this all for gifts. He was like, oh, you lot should double your gifts and give it to your people like I do. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said
And
if
it will
you
be a
guys
lot.
care about black people, then you need to donate your money there. I'm like, what the hell does
Do you
that
know,
have to
and
do
I'm
with
going to say
anything?
this one more time here. I'm not being funny, yeah, but let me tell you something. Not everybody on TikTok actually comes on TikTok to beg and get gifts on,
Thank you.
because it's modern day begging. Let's really talk about it, yeah? No one don't come on TikTok thinking with the intention, well, I don't, and I know Paige and Hans don't, with the intention
I've
of,
never gone
oh,
live.
we're going to talk about this so we right? That's not my thing. I don't come on here thinking, oh, I'm going to do that good thing and everyone's going to gift me. No. So for him to turn around and say, oh, you lot are doing for gifts. Oh, how much have you lot collected? You lot have been going from live to live to live. No, Tony, we've been going live to spread awareness.
And more time, Tori, and like the times that we've been going live to live, I'll be so real. I'm getting sent the lives by so many different people that follow me that I've never even heard of. That's asking me, saying, "Please, Han, this is being discussed. Can you jump in, explain this and explain that?" Like it's not even us willingly being like, right, let's request the box, let's go in. It's tiring. Like I can't do this every day. I'll be real. Like I've got my own health issues. I can't come in all the time and speak, but I have been this weekend because I felt like, you know what, I need to stand with the girls. I need to make sure that people actually understand what's gone on. Do you know what I mean? So, and I don't go live. I'm a gifter. Like I come in and I gift. I don't go live. I don't want gifts. Do you know what I mean? It's nothing like that. But it was the fact that he threw the whole, oh, what if I send you guys a uni? Like, who needs a uni, darling? I can give myself 10 unis. Like, no disrespect. Do you know
He
what I mean?
deflected. That's all he
Yeah,
was
that
doing.
was so rude. Saying
Like,
to me,
that
how
was
many
so
unis is it going to cost?
disgusting.
Is it going to cost? And respectfully, and I'm not just trying, because I'm not trying to bring Luke or anything or anyone in this, but when people were live, i.e. Luke, and was talking about it, did Tony go to him and say, oh, you're doing it for gifts? Or,
Yeah, let me send you a uni.
Miss Red's holding this live now. Is he going to come and tell you, oh, you're talking about it, you're doing it for gifts? He wouldn't dare. So what makes you think that you can come say it to us? What? Because I'm black, you think that we live in this world where we're poor? Like, what is your intention behind? What are you trying to say? What is it you're trying to say?
Do you know what? I'll reach out to Tony. I'll speak to Tony and see what's, yeah.
Yeah, because he's not been on the app since. Like, he's kind of done, he's been less of a, like, I'll be so real, less of a man than Pearl's. Pearl's been more of a man than he has because she's least firm. At least the one thing I can say is she's actually sat on the app and took her smoke. He's actually said a lot, continued. Pearl said one comment. It's gone back and forth, fine, fair enough. But he spoke a lot. He carried on. He's offended. He said more than one offensive comment and words. And he's ran and hid, Miss Red. He's absolutely gone and ran and hid and not had no accountability. But yet we're the ones that have done it.
Paige,
He was definitely drunk. Yeah, he was definitely on the drink.
Yeah, he was definitely drunk.
Because he was getting progressively worse, Miss Red. The more he was going on throughout the night, you could tell how he was drunk because the jumping in and out. It was erratic. It was aggressive. It
It wasn't what I've seen. From
Yeah,
Tony
I've never
before.
seen Tony like that.
I'm saying it's strange behaviour from him because
Can I just say as well, he was also very, very disrespectful to what's her name?
Gracie.
Gracie as well. Gracie's not from the black community. What he done to that woman on his stage was vile, mate. Absolute vile.
Do you know what I think it is, Miss Red? Like you said, it's not like him, but do you know what I think it is like him? But in certain situations, bring out certain people. So obviously, drink, makes you act a bit more confident to say things you wouldn't necessarily say or think about it in normal time. But not only that, it's been a situation where it's been not just the whole community, but the whole TikTok community has obviously been disappointed in Pearl, which is his good friend and someone from his community. So for the first time, he's felt on defence. So his true colours have come out only because he's had to back his own defence because it's been his own friends. So it's not that I don't think it's not that we've not seen him before. I think that because he was drunk and because it's his friend, we're just seeing the truth more come out of him, how he acts in maybe more real life towards people. Do you know what I'm trying to say? When you're sober, you can kind of have a shield and a bit of a cover up to
But
who you are.
I don't think it's even the sober thing, yeah. Personally, for me, I think because of Tony's platform is so focused on obviously getting peddlers and all these things that everyone obviously praises him for, you can hide behind that because that's the only thing you talk about. So it's just like, I'll give an example. When a celebrity is a singer or an actress or whatever, they have that one job and people like what they do there. They don't know anything else because they don't speak about anything else. But then when you start to ask their opinions or another topic comes up and they're in the middle of that, then the truth starts coming out. So even without the drink, he might have not been as erratic as he was and up and down, but I still feel like the same feelings would have been said just because it's another topic now and someone has kind of drawn him out to speak on it.
That's what I mean. I'm not sticking up for him, guys. I'm saying I think the drink's given him the confidence to be more openly himself in terms of, do you know what I'm trying to say, offending people. I don't think, like, when you're sober, you just think about it more, don't you? It's a bit damage control.
He didn't stutter.
Yeah, that's what, 100%. And because he was drunk and he felt all confident and that was his friend, he's now gone and decided that, do you know what I'm trying to say? Let me just let this bit of a shield down and I'm going to be full, no filter, basically. Whereas obviously sober, he's obviously got more of a filter, but drunk now it's clear that that's how he is.
I'll speak to him.
Let's get him in, because in the same way that, you know, Pearl's been held to account and had to sort of come in and talk about what her actions, then I think based on what I saw, if Miss Red's up for it and Tony will do it, then I think there needs to also be something there, because there needs to be some education there.
Yeah, I agree. I think Tony will be back. I don't know what's going on with Tony. Thank you, Mark and Elspeth. But I will speak to Tony and I'll see if he'll come in and stuff like that. But obviously he's not here to defend himself. So, but I will also watch it as well, because I'm intrigued today what's going on. I don't bloody know. TikTok's going crazy. Isn't there a moon or something? Aren't we in like Mercury or something like that? Everyone's going insane. Right, I just want to hear from Ems, ladies. I'm so sorry, and then I'm going to have to close the line down because I've got the grandchild in the next room and she's wanting nanny.
I don't think I've kept quiet because nothing that I have to say is as valuable as what's already being said. Do you know what I mean? I think the important thing that I want to get across is to the people in the comments that are riding hard for the creators that they follow. You need to learn to listen to understand rather than listen to reply. You don't have to defend somebody all of the time. If you stop thinking of answers to everything, you might actually leave space for you to learn something. And I think that's what I've seen over the last 3 days is what a lot of people have forgotten. The first thing people have done and I'm talking about not creators, I'm not talking about Pearl, anybody, I'm talking about people in the comments. The first thing I've seen is that people are calling black women angry. People are sat there and they're jumping to the defense of something they know nothing about. Sit back, listen, and be willing to learn, and things might start to actually change. You don't have to defend someone all of the time. And these people aren't your friends in real life.
Exactly.
So it wouldn't be.
And it's okay. And it's okay to call out your friends. Like, even if your friends said something, it's all right to be like, do you know what, Tori and Paigey, like, don't, you know, that's not right. Do you know what I mean? You need to apologize. You need to take accountability. Just because you follow a creator and you gift them does not mean that you need to stand by them. Like, it's not a ride or die type thing here. Like, it's okay to say.
I'll make myself an example. I was in this live on Thursday or Friday and I was ripping into Shep. I don't like her personally, but when I sat there over the weekend and I watched her in tears because her race has been used against her to hurt her, I felt for that woman. Why wouldn't I? As a human being, I'm never going to be in her shoes. I'm not a black woman. We're not going to have the same experiences, but I would never want to be put in a situation where I don't feel like I belong anywhere. And that's what I was seeing from her. And for that, people need to be held accountable for that, and that's the end of it. But I think going forward, actions speak louder than words, and that's what. And when people are saying, "What do we want to see from Pearl?" Well, that's exactly it. She said she won't use the word again, and that's what we're expecting. And I think that's it. I think the important thing that's come from this is Pearl's mistake has been a catalyst for a wider conversation. And I think as long as people remain open and personally open inside their minds and souls to listen and learn, then this can be a positive in the end. And I think that's what's important.
Yeah, can I just say one last thing before I drop, because I need to drop?
Yeah, sure.
I said this to Rickster as well yesterday because he wanted me in his live as well last night. When creators like yourself, Red, and obviously Donna, like, you get us all in all the time, like you get us all girls in your lives, but when other creators, you know, and people in the comments, when you see creators firing up a live and talking about race, please keep an eye on the panel as well. Like, make sure that the panel they have at least has 1 or 2 black people on there that can actually speak for us. Do you know what I mean? Because it's well and good having a live that's based on the discussion of racism and creating awareness, but if you don't have people that are, you know, black people and black, you know, creators on there that will speak for us, it really is counterproductive, and so many information can get misconstrued. So please, as creators, like, spread the word. If you're going to have racism debates or, you know, discussions, have myself, Torian, Paigey, anyone else that you see that you've heard in boxes, send them the live and say, look, this is what's happening in this live. Do you mind jumping in and just, you know, being the voice of reason, being somebody that can educate us? Because, you know, nobody understands what we go through day to day, and education is probably the key to, you know, get rid of this ignorance. So that's just to, that's just to every
I just add one more thing as well to that. Also, this is just a bit of education as well, yeah. Let me not say you lot, but when white people come on the platform and say, some white people should I say, when there's a discussion about racism, right, and someone comes up and says, oh, well, I've got a mixed race son, I've got a mixed race auntie, a mixed race thing, that doesn't stop someone from being racist. Like, there's so much mixed race children who have grown up with racial abuse from either grandparents, parents. Like, it's not a cash prize to have a mixed race child. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to, like, do you get what I mean? And I just feel like a lot of the times when people do come and speak about race, the first thing is they say is, well, you know, I've got a mixed race child, so da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Quite frankly, that's not, like, just stop saying it. Like, it's not, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's one of my other things.
Guys, I know she said it just goes to, it's easy, and you know, it happens like right here. Let's not be too hard on everybody, would you? Do you know what I mean? Cockapoo. Was you going to speak?
Can I say I've got a gay friend? Is that okay? I'm just trying to add some humour here, guys. I get your point, because I think look, as a white person, when I'm speaking about anything like this, I always caveat with, and by the way, I've got family from XYZ. Like, that makes it more important that a white person's saying something. So I get what you're saying, Torian.
Yeah. Exactly that. Ladies, thank you so much for coming in today. It's a pleasure as always, and I love the fact that you come in here and, you know, you educate us all, and, you know, you do your thing. I respect it and I love it.
Thank you so much, Miss Red. Thank you to everyone else that came up as well. Honestly, big you guys up.
Big up, everyone. Yeah, I just, like I said, last thing I want to say is it's not a witch hunt on anyone. It's a conversation, guys. That's all it is. If Pearl's not feeling offended by the specific people that are having conversations like us, then I feel like you guys can, you know, have to keep riding so hard for her. We get it. You love her. Do you know what I mean? But just, let's all just learn to love each other and have that same level of respect for creators that you may not follow and love 24/7. And then, do you know what I mean? Conversations can happen a lot more freely and a lot more easier. But big up, Miss Red. Thank you very much.
Big you guys up, girls.
See you later, everybody.
See you later, everyone.
Bye, ladies. Thank you, Cockapoo, the voice of reason.
Cheers. Bye.
Oh, God. Oh, thank you everybody for joining the live today. Yes, Louise, learnt a lot, absolutely. And this is what it's all about, learning, being educated. We can all do better, do you know what I mean? In some way or another. Thank you, Amesy. Thank you, Annie Crizzle. I mean, I'm 43 and I'm still learning every bloody day of the week. Yes, every day of the week I'm still learning. And I love it. I think it's great. I mean, hopefully, you know, all will be okay. Thank you, PJ. Yeah, all will be okay. I just want everyone to bloody get on. I love peace and happiness and harmony. Do you know what I mean? Yes. Thank you, everybody, for joining today. Miss Regina, I couldn't read that. Sorry, love. Thank you, everybody, for joining today and being here. And I know it's been a difficult live. My Jay, I love you, my Jay. And thank you to Jay as well, because Jay, honestly, you're amazing. Yeah, you are. You're amazing. Guys, can we have hearts for our Jay, please? Because we love our J1. Yes. Big love. Thank you, everybody, for the gifts. Thank you. Big love to Ollie B for my kitten. Thank you, darling. Ollie, when you sent that through, there was a serious conversation going on. I didn't want to jump up and be rude, you know what I mean? But thank you, Ollie. Mark, PJ, Ellie, Oni Crizzle, Cockapoo, darling, Fiona, Amanda, guess who's back? Casade in colour, is that right? Danielle M, Anna Marie, Maid Terrell, Certified Sad Girl, Titch, Rosie, Sonia, Sonia Backup and Miss Maddie. Thank you, everybody. And Lynn's as well. For me, Stella Lynn's has gone, I think. And everybody else just sitting here tapping the screen. Right, what comment? Oh, MT, what's this? Don't be MT. Is this a true story?
I just come in to say before we die at 8 o'clock tonight on this solar eclipse, it's been an absolute pleasure knowing you all. Okay?
So what's going on?
There's a solar eclipse at 8 o'clock tonight. Yeah?
What's that? Is that...
That's where the sun and the moon goes in front of the sun.
Oh, thanks for that, MT. You've
But
really
that's-
cheered me up today.
The Americans have nationalised the federal guard, and that's why I reckon this is real life. I reckon it's game over at 8 o'clock. So I'm going to watch it from the highest part of my city. But obviously I love you all, and I just wanted to say it's been emotional like 2 years.
Where can we watch it, MT?
What?
Where can we watch it?
Well, I'm going somewhere to watch it at like 10 to 8, so I'll be live. So I'll show you.
Is it on the TV?
No, it's outside. Go outside in your garden.
Oh, it's outside.
Yeah.
Is this a true story, MT?
This is true. Like, no words of a lie. Throw a fiver down now. I'm not chatting shit. We're all going to, like, go at 8.
We're outside. Oh, all right. Sorry.
We will see. We'll see you. We'll see you.